Title this one, Many Will Not Believe Until It's Too Late. How's that? We'll title it that. So we're going to start off with Colossians. We're going to Colossians chapter 3, verse 17. And this is for the 12 tribes of Israel. We're trying to help assemble the 12 tribes back together as one, with the Spirit of the Most High. That we come back together and prophesy to the people. Together, when we come together, we are a temple of the Most High. Okay, we are that new temple that He's rebuilding. Okay, so Colossians 3 and 17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of Bahashem Hamashiach Yahawashai, giving thanks to the Most High and the power by Him. So everything we're going to do tonight is going to be through Hamashiach Yahushai, who the world calls Jesus Christ. Okay? So when we go through the scriptures, we pray that the Most High is with us going through the scriptures. That's why we pray before we touch and open this Bible. Because this Bible is a living Bible. You cannot just have this Bible around. Like I tell my children, this Bible has eyes. Wherever you go, it sees you. If you don't open the book up, it's there with you. This is the Most High's. This is the Most High's mouth. He's here with us. This is His Holy Spirit right here, this Bible. And this Holy Spirit, when you read it, it pours His information into you, which causes you to walk in the Spirit. So we have to understand that when we have these Bibles in our room, that the Most High is with us. But you cannot get the information unless you open it up and read it. Okay, a lot of our people in the churches, they go to church, they don't even open their Bible. Some don't even go to church with their Bible. A lot of them don't even know what's in the Bible. All they know is Jesus in the Bible. That's all they know. Jesus, Jesus. But they don't know what He wants. That's the problem. When you see an actor on TV or a movie star, and you say, oh, I know I'm your biggest fan. Okay, you meet that actor, and you tell him the same thing. He's going to say, I don't know you. Where do I know you from? Okay? So it's the same thing with Hamashiach. We say we love Him. We say we know what He wants. But when we don't keep His Father's commandments, we're not walking in the Spirit. And therefore, He'll say, I never knew you. It's the same thing. Okay? So let's go to Psalms 14 and 1. Psalms chapter 14 verse 1. Psalms 14 and 1. The fool has said in his heart, there is no power. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. So the Most High is telling you, the fool, those who do not believe in His word, are fools. Now, when you go out on the streets and you tell somebody they're a fool, that's an automatic insult. Those are fighting words. You call somebody a fool on the street. But the Most High is calling His people fools because they don't understand what He wants. Okay? Let's go to Isaiah 60 and 2. So we're going to go precept for precept, line upon line, to show you what the Most High's word says. And this is how you read the Bible. Okay? First, before I get that, let me go to Psalms 119. Let me show you what I mean about the precepts. Psalms 119 and 100. Psalms 119 and 100. Psalms chapter 119, verse 100. I understand more than the ancients because I keep thy precepts. So, in order to understand something, you got to know what His precepts say. This is how you're going to be able to walk through the Bible. Like Enoch walked with God, this is how you walk with the Most High. You walk with His precepts. You match up precept for precept, line for line. It says, I understand more than the ancients because I keep thy precepts. I have refrained my feet from every evil way. See that? That's how you walk with the Most High, by keeping His precepts. That I may keep thy word. I have not departed from thy judgments, for thou hast taught me. How sweet are thy words unto my taste, yea, sweeter than honey to my mouth. Through thy precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way. That's why I was telling you, brother, when you dream, start reading the scriptures more, because you'll get more understanding by his precepts. You understand? And Satan will flee from you the more you read the scriptures and you follow and you walk in the precepts. Satan will flee from you. All right, because it tells you wisdom fleeth when sin cometh. When sin cometh, well, Satan fleeth when the Spirit is with you. It's just the opposite. Let's go back to Isaiah 60:2. Isaiah 60:2. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth. What's that darkness? That darkness is not knowing the light of the Most High. Christ, when he came to the earth, Hamashiach, he brought his Father's laws, statutes, and commandments, and understanding. So when it says darkness, it's not really talking about being nighttime outside. It's talking about understanding his ways. It says, for behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. See? So the people are without understanding now. That's why you see all the things going on in the earth today. You got different wars going on, the president talking crazy, you got the vice president talking crazy. You know, you got the ISIS thing going on. They got a lot of blackouts on TV right now. Okay? That's a form of darkness, not letting you know what's going on. You know, like over in Russia right now, they got over 1,000 troops over in Ukraine right now that they're not even talking about. You know, this war is gearing up all over this earth right now. But in America, it's a blackout on the TV. They're not telling you what's going on. Okay? Over there in Iraq, the group called ISIS, you know, they're just taking up where Al-Qaeda left off at. Y'all see the brother that just got killed over there? He was an American. He's about 33 years old. He went over there to join the ISIS. Dummy.
Yeah, the jihad, yeah.
Yeah, he went over there to join the doggone jihad, ISIS, and got killed. So, I mean, you know, that's not our war. That's not our fight. He got killed because that's not our war. He joining idolatry. He's an Israelite. What the hell he doing hanging out with jihadists? You know? And over there, go ahead, brother.
I thought it was a Issachar. He looks Puerto Rican or something.
Yeah, he possibly be Puerto Rican. He's still an Israelite. He came from America over here to there. And then when you look at that area over there in Iraq, a lot of things aren't being really brought forth because that was the old Babylon. They got museums over there that got old artifacts in there from the first, second, third generations of Noah's sons, still over there in the museums. They got our artifacts in some of those museums. So you got the Americans going over there, not telling you what their scientists and what their the National Geographic people are doing. They're going over there stealing the artifacts out the museums and putting them in the Vatican, taking them all over the world to analyze them, to destroy them, to paint over them. Same thing is going on again. It's the ways of the world. Okay, they're trying to keep the children of Israel from finding out who they are. Okay, it's no coincidence that that's happening in that particular area. Okay. It's the same thing with Ethiopia. It's the same thing with Ethiopia. I mentioned Ethiopia because I've been over there, and I've been through a few of their museums, and they got all kinds of artifacts. I see why National Geographic don't go over there filming that stuff, because they got some of our history over there as well. You know, so it's a blackout, really. Not to the whole world, but mainly to the Israelites. They're trying to keep all this information back. That's why it's good for a brother to travel, and because now being in the truth, you know what to look for, versus going over there not being in the truth, So Isaiah 60:2. For behold, go ahead.
Israelis are starting to kind of pack up and get out of there pretty soon.
Say that again?
I heard that the Israelis are trying to pack up and get out of Israel pretty soon.
They ain't going nowhere, man. They ain't going nowhere. The scriptures say they ain't going nowhere. They got enough. They got enough war power to take out every little country around them. Them Israelis, they ain't going nowhere.
Resource problems.
Huh?
And resource problems over there.
Yeah, those resource problems, they have them, but they ain't going nowhere, bro. Because you figure if they leave, they know when we get over there, that land right now is crying after us. They know if we go over there, it's a done deal. They ain't giving it up. Matter of fact, the scriptures tell you that's who we're going to have to fight against anyways. The Most High, he's setting that whole thing up. So Isaiah 60:2. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Most High shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. So we can't do nothing until the Most High give us this understanding, and then we're going to, use these scriptures to wake up the world. John chapter 12, verse 37. So it's a lot of people who do not believe this Bible. There's a lot of people who once believed the Bible that stopped believing in the Bible. All because some of them lost their faith. You got a lot of brothers and sisters, they come into the truth and they fall out the truth. And when they fall out the truth, it's much worse for them being out the truth than not being in the truth. A sister sent me an email saying that she needed dire prayer. Okay? She needed dire prayer. So, I gave her some scriptures to help her. And, but, we got our people in different remote parts of the world who are all by themselves. They're in this truth and they by themselves. And they're just searching for somebody else to be in the truth. Sometimes that person in truth may not even be no farther than 5 miles. They just don't know that they're there, But the Most High has a way of bringing them together if they have the right spirit. Let me go to John 12:37. But though he had done so many miracles before them, yet they believed not on him. So these are people, when Christ was living, people still didn't believe him. Although he did miracles, they still didn't believe him. That the sayings of Isaiah the prophet might be fulfilled, which he spoke. The Most High who hath believed our report, and to whom hath the arm of Hamashiach been revealed. Therefore they could not believe, because that Isaiah said again, he hath blinded their eyes and hardened their heart, and they should not see with their eyes, nor understand with their heart, and be converted, and I should heal them. So Isaiah made this prophecy that the people weren't going to understand, even in the last days. It's the same thing. Our people have always been this way. Don't think just because we go out there and they don't want to hear this truth, our people ain't been like this before. They always been hard-headed. This ain't nothing new. This ain't nothing new. A lot of us get mad, we get disgusted, because when we go out there, they don't want to listen to us. They get mad. They throw those screw faces. Those screw faces. They look at you all crazy. Black people will give you some of the hardest looks. Most I said, don't even worry about them.
Yeah, I see it.
This is verse 41. These things said Isaiah when he saw his glory and spoke of him. Nevertheless, among the chief rulers also, many believed on him, but because of the Pharisees they did not confess him, lest they should be put out of the synagogue. So a lot of people were afraid because they was mainly worried about what their friends who were the Pharisees, what they would do to them. It's just like Nicodemus, he met Yahushua at nighttime, right? He didn't go in the daytime because he would have been seen. So he went at night because he knew none of his friends would see him. Right? So he went at night to see Hamashiach Yahushua. Why is he going to see him? Here's this all-knowing Pharisee or Sadducee going to see Hamashiach, who ain't a Pharisee, who ain't a Sadducee. So this guy, he knew that Yahushua was the Christ, was the Hamashiach. That's why he went. Verse 43. For they love the praise of men more than the praise of the Most High. That's most of the people of the world. They don't want to follow the words of the Bible or hang out with somebody who call themselves an Israelite. It's a derogatory name. Tell me, when was Yahushua not an Israelite? Like my elders say. When was he not an Israelite? He was an Israelite every day. right? He knew he was an Israelite. He rolled as an Israelite, you know. But most of our people, like my elders say, they programmed to go to hell. Most people that are born in the earth today are programmed to go to hell. They don't have a chance. Okay? That's why we got to get out there and teach them. You know, whether it be on the bus, whether it be in the store, whether it be at, you know, church, wherever, you got to teach them. It says, verse 44, Yahushua cried and said, He that believeth on me, believeth not on me, but on him that sent me. See? And he that seeth me, seeth him that sent me. So, Mashiach is telling you, hey, I came in my Father's name. I didn't come in nobody else's name but my Father. Let's go to John 3:18, the most famous verse that everybody loves to use. Y'all should know this verse by heart. This verse really didn't become famous until that book came out. It was what was that? Purpose driven for life. I think that was the book. Yeah. You know, Edomite wrote the book. And John 3:16, Florida. I think it was another book. It was called John 3:16. You know, bunch of garbage, man, because it's not telling you what we're supposed to do. John 3:16. Well, you know, it's all a money-making scheme. People are making money off these verses, off the Most High's words.
Lots of money.
Lots of money. Lots of money being made off this book. You know, why don't they just sell the Bible? Why they gotta come up with a separate book from the Bible? Just sell the Bible. You know, you basically doing the same thing. John 3:16. For the Most High so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Okay? And this is true. This is regarding the Israelites. We got to believe on him. Look at verse 18. He that believeth on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already. So they, brothers and sisters, don't even have a choice. You know, when they say they believe in the Old Testament, they're already condemned. They don't believe in the New Testament, you know, because you're supposed to believe both. But you got some brothers, they say, we only believe in the Old Testament, in the Old Covenant. They're already condemned. They're already destroyed. When you're looking at a dead person, you're looking at a zombie, basically. That's what they get the movies from. When they come up with the living dead, the zombies, that's basically Israelites who are dead, walking. They made that movie off of us, basically. The living dead. Esau tells you about what's going on in the world based on his movies. Just watch his movies. He got little insights in there. The Matrix, Terminator. You know what they show on Terminator, the third movie. They show the end of the world, nuclear destruction, right?
White man's burden.
Huh?
White man's burden.
Which one? Oh yeah. All these movies, man.
And so you're gonna be ruling the white people on that movie.
Yeah, Planet of the Apes. That's another one. You know, these movies, they basically, Esau just giving you, he's not doing this for a form of entertainment. When he makes his movies, a lot of people think it's entertainment, but it's not entertainment. These men, they come together, and these producers, they're in on it. Like they meet over there at the Bohemian Grove over here in California. The producers be over there too. They know what's going on. They know this Bible better than us. Esau know the Bible better than us. That's why he got so many schemes against us. He already knows what we're about to do, when we're going to wake up. You ever realize why he hasn't stopped us yet going out there? You don't think he knows this is part of the plan? Esau knows it. He sees us going out there every week. Come on. We underground. Every news group in America should have had us on TV. As consistent as we are going out there.
Here comes Jacob.
Yeah, isn't it ironic that we're not on TV? That we're not on the news? You know? Every city, every state, every different country in England, Japan, you got brothers going out every Saturday pushing the word. And it's not on TV? Nobody ain't seen us? Come on. Nope.
Yeah, you know, I thought about the same thing, so I didn't mean to interrupt, but that's a strong point you're making right there.
Right. So, I mean, you really got to think out the box. You know, the Bible is the thinking man's book. You know, and Esau knows that. Esau knows that we don't think. Like the Ferguson riots over there, he brought out those tanks. Why the hell you need tanks against Negroes looting stores? Why is he bringing tanks out? I thought all he needed was some machine guns. You got tanks coming out. Tanks blow up a whole city, take down buildings. But why are you bringing out tanks? Huh?
I mean, you need machine gun. That's too much power.
Yeah, it's too much power. It's really overkill. It's overkill, you know. And you got to think outside the box. Why is he doing this? Is he showing his muscle? You know, is he showing what he got? Because, you know, Jake really don't understand that there's no way to fight their enemy. We can't win at this point. That's why this is a spiritual movement. Okay?
Esau trying to provoke Jacob, trying to rouse him up.
Right. Well, he not gonna do that though. He trying to rouse us up. He trying to rouse us up. Let me go to 2 John 3 and 4, chapter 2. Esau, he knows what's going on, man. Don't sleep on it. This is 2 John. 1 John, I'm sorry. 1 John chapter 2 verse 3. And hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments. So we only going to know Hamashiach Yahushua if we keeping his commandments. Okay? That's the only way we're going to know him. There's no other way to know him. There's no back door. Okay? Can't go through another Messiah to get to Hamashiach Yahushua. Okay? There's as many Hamashiachs, but there's only one dear Hamashiach based on the Bible, coming out of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Alright? There's only one Hamashiach who's going to bring life, everlasting life, to those servants who kept his word. Because Buddha's not going to do it. Buddha died and never came back up. Okay? Muhammad died and never came back up. Alright? All these other messiahs, so-called messiahs, never rose from the dead. They're all still in the ground, dead. Okay? Hamashiach Yahushua is the only one who rose from the dead. This is John 2 and 3, verse 4. He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him. So those who say, you know, like the Most High said in Psalms 14 and 1, the fool has said there is no God. Yeah, he's a fool because why? Because he doesn't keep his commandments. He's not keeping one commandment. So those who don't keep his commandments are fools. Verse 9. Go to verse 9. He says, he that saith he is in the light and hateth his brother is in darkness even unto now. So a lot of Israelites who are they think they're in the light, but they're not, because they hating their brother. You know, the Most High got a judgment for them. It says, he that loveth his brother abideth not in the light. See that? So how you gonna say you in the truth, but you hate somebody? You hate a brother and a sister in the truth. You know? You ain't supposed to hate a brother and sister that's in the truth. Alright? You cannot deal with them, but you're not supposed to hate them. It says, he that loveth his brother abideth in the light, and there is none occasion of stumbling in him. But he that hateth his brother is in darkness, and walketh in darkness, and knoweth not whither he goeth, because that darkness hath blinded his eyes. See that? So the Most High, he can have a pit waiting on you. You fall right in the pit hole, because you're walking in darkness. Okay? Let's go to Acts 15 and 35. Let me give you an example in the Bible. Okay, some of you think that it's okay to hate. Give you an example. I want you guys to listen to this and tell me what you think about this. This is Paul. I'm going to start with Acts chapter 15, verse 35. It says, Paul also and Barnabas continued in the city of Antioch, teaching and preaching in the word of the Hamashiach, with many others also. So there's a lot of brothers teaching the word back then too. Verse 36. And some days after, Paul said unto Barnabas, let us go again and visit our brethren in every city where we have preached the word of the Hamashiach, and see how they do. And Barnabas determined to take with him John, whose surname was Mark. But Paul thought not good to take him with them, who departed from them from Pamphylia, and went not with them to the work. So this brother didn't want to go and work. He didn't want to go put in the work when he was asked to do it. And Paul got a little upset. It says, and the contention was so sharp between them that they departed asunder, one from the other. I mean, it was hot. When they departed asunder, these two was mad at each other. Okay, Paul was mad at him because he wouldn't put in the work. Did he hate him? That's my question to y'all. Did Paul hate this man? Because he's a brother in the truth. At one time he did go out there and push the word. Okay? And so Barnabas took Mark and sailed unto Cyprus, and Paul chose Silas and departed, being recommended by the brethren unto the grace of the Most High. And he went through Syria and Cilicia, confirming with the churches. So did Paul hate this man? Anybody think Paul hated this man?
I don't think he hated him.
Huh?
I don't think he hated him.
Okay.
No, Paul didn't hate the man.
He didn't hate him? Well, how come
Has left the conference.
how come
It's just, I think he hated his, that's him not want to put a work in, just behavior.
right. He just got upset. He didn't hate him. It was just it's like, you know, that kind of anger you get in traffic. When you're in traffic and you try to get somewhere and someone cut in front of you. It's that 10-second anger. You ever get that?
Yeah.
That's the type of anger he had with him. He's like, man, you ain't putting in the work. He was like, man, I ain't dealing with you. Let me show you why he did what he did. I'm going to show you in the Old Testament. Let's go to Deuteronomy 20 and 8. You're going to go precept for precept. Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 8. It says, excuse me, and the officers shall speak further unto the people, and they shall say, what man is there that is fearful and faint-hearted? Let him go and return unto his house.
Has arrived.
Let him go and return unto his house, lest his brother in heart faint, as well as his heart. So what did Paul do with this man? He did the same thing. They was going to the battle. Whenever we go out to speak, that's a form of war. Okay? I'll read it again, verse 8. And the officers shall speak further unto the people, and they shall say, what man is there that is fearful and faint-hearted? Question. Let him go and return unto his house, lest his brother's heart faint as well as his heart. So you basically tell him, look, man, this dude's spirit wasn't on fire. That's what Paul was saying. His spirit ain't on fire. I don't want to go out there with him. His spirit ain't on fire. So if I go out there, he going to make my spirit fall. You see? And when you go out there, you got to be on fire. You know what I mean? So it's a form of war. So Paul just said, hey, man, you go back home, man. That's basically what he said. Verse 9. And it shall be when the officers have made an end of speaking unto the people, that they shall make captains of the armies to lead the people. See, that's what we're supposed to do as men of the Most High. We're supposed to go out there and teach this word, you know. Whether it be on the streets or wherever you have to go, in the church, synagogue, school, wherever. You know. This is what Paul did. He did the same thing as what Deuteronomy says. Let's read 1 through 3, 21 and 3. It says, when thou goest out to battle against thine enemies, and seest horses and chariots, that's what we see when we go out there, right? Cars, and a people more than thou, right? We see our people, but our people are not with us when we go out there. They're basically our enemies. Even though we love them, they're basically our enemies because they go against the Most High's laws. Okay, until they change. It says, and a people more than thou, be not afraid of them, for the Most High thy power is with thee, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And it shall be when ye are come near unto the battle, that the priests shall approach and speak unto the people. Who goes out there and speak? We're in the form of priests when we go out there and speak, because we're what? Holding the Bible and we're teaching the books of the law. The priests were the Levites, who were lawyers. They were lawgivers. Okay? It says, for the Lord your power is he, verse 3, and shall say unto them, hear, O Israel, you approach this day unto battle against your enemies. Let not your hearts faint, fear not, and do not tremble, neither be ye terrified because of them. Like I said, Israel got them screw faces. We ain't supposed to be afraid of them. We're supposed to go out there regardless. Okay? Not supposed to be afraid of our people when we talk to them, because they don't want to listen. Like I said, they make the worst faces, you know. You watch the videos. You watch some of these hip-hop videos where they do the flash still motion pictures. They be showing Jake with the looks. I think, what was that? The Cash Boys out of New Orleans. They used to do that all the time. Showed all the brothers with the crazy looks. You know? That's those screw faces. You know, we're not supposed to be afraid of that stuff. I'm going to go to John chapter 20, verse 25. Hold on, let me go to Numbers 3 and 10 first. Let me show you about the Levites. Numbers chapter 3, verse 10. And thou shalt appoint Aaron and his sons, and they shall wait on their priest office, and the stranger that cometh near shall be put to death. See that? So the Israelites are the only ones supposed to push this word. Back then it was the Levites. Now we're a nation of priests. Okay? So we all got to go out there and teach now. We're a nation of priests. So anybody that comes up against us trying to hold this word, we're supposed to cut them down. Cut that tree down and show them the way. Show them the true way of the Bible. Not that Christian doctrine, you know. A lot of our people are so heavy into the Christian doctrine that when they see us out there, they think that we Christians, you know. Especially when we edifying somebody. When we edifying somebody, they really think that we Christians because we talking low, you know. But then when they come up against us and they see how we cut them down just as fast, they realize it's something different about us, you know. We got to speak with authority when we go out there. This is John chapter 20, verse 25. Got to speak with authority because Yahushua spoke with authority. Right? He came out there to do his Father's will. You ain't going to hide or twist and turn to bring his words out. You're going to bring them out straight. This is John chapter 20, verse 25. The other disciples therefore said unto him, we have seen the Hamashiach. But he said unto them, except I shall see in his hands the print of the nails, and put my finger into the print of the nails, and thrust my hand into his side, I will not believe. This is doubting Thomas. Basically saying he ain't going to believe what they said, their report, unless he see Hamashiach himself. This is after the crucifixion. This is after the resurrection. So he didn't believe that Hamashiach was raised from the dead. Let's go to verse 29. Hamashiach saith unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. He only believed that Hamashiach resurrected because he's seen him. Blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed. That's us. We have not seen Hamashiach Yahushua for ourselves. We haven't seen him, you know, in the flesh, but we believe. It's very important to believe that he rose from the dead, because by believing, that's our salvation. That's how we're going to get out of here. You know, that's the biggest test on earth, just to see if we believe. You know, you open up this Bible and read it, you're supposed to already have that belief when you start reading this Bible, not afterwards. You're supposed to already go into it. Let me ask y'all something. When you go to a church, a lot of us have been in church before. Okay, why is it that when you go to a church they start off with music? Why do they start off with music when you go into a church? How come the pastor just don't come right out and start teaching? Anybody know? Huh? Say that again?
As they They program. They tradition.
Right. It's a form of tradition, and also they try to get that spirit moving in you. You know, because you come in there not ready. Most people go to church and they're not ready when they go to church. So when you get into the church, they try to get you into that spirit of the church by bringing in the music, bringing in the singing, and make you happy, loosen up. It's almost like, you know, you getting a shot of...
Hypnotos, right?
Yeah, it's like getting a shot of morphine or something. You know, it's like loosening your body up to accept the spirit. So, you know, once you go in there, you hear about 5, 6 songs, you get happy, you clapping your hands, you're standing up, people hugging each other. Then the pastor come out, and then he give you that, you know, he start off with a speech real low. You notice that? The music is high energy, and then he come in real low. Everybody sits down, and you calm, and you right. By the end of the sermon, he loud, right? He loud, and then the music coming back. So it's almost like a trance, you know.
Controlling the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, he playing with your spirit. He playing with your emotions, you know. By the time the church is over, he done persuaded you to do what he basically. It's almost like a hypnotism. You know, it's not supposed to be like that.
Persuaded you to give him tithe.
Say that again.
He persuaded you to give him his money.
Right.
That's all it is giving him money.
Yeah, that's basically, you know, he's trying to get your money. Basically, that's what it solely comes down to. He wants your money. You know, he wants you to wash your soul, go down there, feel good. At the end of the day, he wants your money. That's when the baskets go around at the end. You know, that's when they go around. They want that tithing. They say, won't you come down and get saved? Because they want the membership. Because if they get the membership, then they could go to the banks, and the banks give you what you want based on the membership. It's all statistics. If you got 98 members and you want a bigger church, the bank might say your quota is 100. You can't get the big church. But the more members you get, the bigger the church you could get. That's how the mega churches work. The more members you have, the bigger finances you could get from the banks. Okay?
501c3.
It's that 501c3, right. That's another form of 501c3. So that's how they get their money. All right? There's a just way to do it, and there's a wicked way to do it. That's a wicked way. And so that's why I say that those churches are dens of robbers. That's what Hamashiach called it, dens of robbers. You go in there and they take your money and make you feel good. They make you, basically, when you walk down that aisle, they say you giving your life to God, but really you giving your life to Satan. You know, because it's all emotions. When you get saved, they don't tell you, hey, you got to follow the laws, statutes, commandments. They don't tell you that. You know, you keep coming over and over and over. They ain't going to tell you to keep the law. You got a drug problem. You know, they ain't going to try to help you get off that drug problem. You know, you got finance problems. They might set you up to go to a finance class, but really, in the end, they're going to take more money from you than what you had. It's just a way to keep you coming. You know, pretty soon you'll be a 30-year member, 30-year student, and you still don't know nothing. You still don't know what you're supposed to do. You don't know the walk that you're supposed to walk. You ain't taught nobody nothing. You ain't showed them the way to life. You ain't did nothing. It's that unbelief. Okay? Because a lot of people don't understand that Satan gives gifts too. Right? Satan gives gifts. Let's go to Matthew 4 and 4. Let's go to Matthew 4 and 4. Matthew. Let's see. Alright. Matthew chapter 4. I'll start at verse 1. Then was Hamashiach led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward hungered. And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the Son of the Most High, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High. See that? Every word. So show me in the churches where they follow every word of the Most High. They don't even believe in the Old Testament. You can't tell me that's of Satan. They don't believe in the Old Testament. That's the majority of the Bible. That's the majority of the Bible, the Old Testament. So who's leading the churches? Satan. Satan's right there in the pulpit.
Yeah, books.
Okay, let's go to verse 5. It says, Then the devil taketh him up in the holy city, and setteth him on a pinnacle of the temple. Okay? What temple? A temple is a place where you congregate. Alright? It's a place where you congregate. And saith unto him, If thou be the Son of the Most High, cast thyself down, for it is written, He shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against thy stone. Where did Satan get this from? He got it right out the Old Testament. See that? So if the Old Testament is done away with, why is even Satan still using the Old Testament? If Hamashiach didn't know the Old Testament, Satan would have got him. Because it's coming out of Psalms 91. This is verse 7. Yahushua saith unto him, It is written again. He said, It is written, Thou shalt not tempt the Most High thy power. Again the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. So when he showed him all the kingdoms of the world, you think it was just during that time? No, it was from the beginning to the end. He saw San Francisco. He saw New York. He saw England. He saw Paris. He saw, what's the place down in the Middle East? Dubai. He saw Dubai. Satan showed him all the kingdoms of the earth, from the past to the ends of the earth. He saw the mystery Babylon and everything. Hamashiach saw that. Okay? Again, the devil taketh him up into the exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them, and saith unto him, All these things will I give you, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. See? So Satan can bless. He was trying to persuade our Hamashiach. Do you realize if he had persuaded Hamashiach, we would have no life. Death will be in this earth. It would have been over with. Verse 10. Then saith Hamashiach unto him, Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Hamashiach thy power, and him only shalt thou serve. Then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. So when you go into those churches, guess who you following? You following Satan. You rolling with Satan. Okay? You rolling with Satan. Let's go to 2 Corinthians verse 6.
A picture of Jesus there down the wall. That's a big deception right there.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, you go into these churches, like I said, Satan blesses. They tell you don't follow the Old Testament when the scriptures tell you. What Christ was quoting from the Old Testament the whole time he was fighting Satan. Every word that he fought Satan with was from the Old Testament. So if you don't know the Old Testament, all you know is the New Testament, how you going to fight Satan? You fall for any doctrine. John 3:16. You fall for anything. Everybody could be saved. Oh, Esau could be saved. Japheth could be saved. Everybody could be saved. But see, the Most High came to save Israel first and foremost. He ain't thinking about nobody else. Israel has to be saved first, just like in Egypt. We were saved first. The mixed multitude follow Israel. They follow Israel. But who was saved first? Israel was saved. That's what we have to get the understanding of. The Most High came for his children, first and foremost. Through us, everybody else could have a bite at it. They're going to be servants, but they can have a bite at least getting into the kingdom. You see? Let's go to 2 Corinthians 11, verse 6.
I always wondered, going to these churches, I always wondered, like, all these churches that's professing to be saved, that all this prayer power and all this stuff they're doing, that by now, we would have had heaven on earth by now. And there would be no racism, the world would be fixed. All these people that are praying.
That's right.
People go wrong in churches.
That's right, brother. I mean, look at all the churches, man, and look what they serving in the churches. They serving abominable foods regularly. You know, they leave there and go to the church cookout, and they got pork hot links, catfish. They don't even cook regular fish. They just cook catfish. You know, because it's cheap. It's easier to buy and to feed a whole bunch of people. The churches, man, they are not teaching our people what they're supposed to do. The dietary laws are still in effect. The Old Testament is still in effect. The New Testament is still in effect. The sacrifices are done away with. You know, the judgmental laws are done away with, but the ceremonial, dietary, and the moral laws are still here. That's what they got to understand. Those are still here. Okay, this is 2 Corinthians 11:4. For if he that cometh preacheth another Hamashiach, whom we have not preached, or if ye receive another spirit, which ye have not received, or another gospel, which ye have not accepted, you might well bear with him. You might as well go with him, right? If you ain't tripping. Basically, he's telling you right here, there's two Hamashiachs in the earth. Which Hamashiach is the world following? They are following the Hamashiach of Satan. That's the Hamashiach they following. They're not following the Hamashiach of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They're not following that Hamashiach.
White man.
They following the so-called devil, the white man. You know, the devil ain't so-called. He's the devil. All right. So let's go from there. So you know, these churches, man, they'll send you that straight to hell. You know, and celebrate you going into hell. They have those funerals. They celebrate your life going into hell. You know, because the Most High tells you why they loathe your law, why they loathe the Most High's law. You know, they had liberty. They had liberty to keep His laws, and they didn't. Liberty is just another form for grace. You know, you got a grace period to turn around, repent, keep His laws. Our people ain't doing that. Let's go to Isaiah 20. Let's go to Romans 3:3.
And you know that the congregation are getting deceived, the whole congregation.
Say that again?
They don't know what's going on in the congregation. They don't know what's going on.
What?
Shepherds that are leading them astray.
Oh yeah, it's the well, Jeremiah 23 talks about that. Talks about the shepherds that are leading them astray, and it's bigger than just the shepherds that you see. You know, the doctrine is coming from Esau, and Esau is pushing that doctrine throughout the earth. That's why they all got the same. When you wake up on Sunday morning, you turn on the TV. You can sit there for 4 hours and watch all the Sunday sermons, and they're all the same way. Not one of them's telling you about the laws. They might recite a story in the Old Testament, but they ain't gonna tell you the precepts of the Old Testament concerning that versus the New Testament. They're not gonna show you everlasting life. You know. Let's go to Romans 3:3. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? The Most High forbid. No, basically that's what he's saying. You got to believe the Most High. It says, yea, let the Most High be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. How you gonna overcome? By keeping His commandments. See? But if our unrighteousness commend the righteousness of the Most High, what shall we say? Right. If we say that we don't have to keep the laws, what shall we say? Is the Most High unrighteous who take a vengeance? Because He's going to take vengeance against all those who don't keep His laws. You know? He said, I speak as a man. The Most High forbid. For then how shall the Most High judge the world? He's going to judge the world quickly. It's going to be quick. It's going to be swift. Alright? Like He said, like a twinkling of an eye, He's going to come on this earth so fast, like when that earthquake hit. When that earthquake came, nobody had time to do nothing. Right? They had time to do nothing. A sister told me, she said, in San Francisco on the 10th floor, in a building, she said, what do I do? Where do I go? She said, do I go in the basement? I said, no, there's water under the earth in San Francisco. There's lakes. I said, you go in the basement, the ground is going to crack and you're going to get drowned. You're going to flood out in the basement. She said, what do I do? I said, you can't run in the streets because the buildings will fall on you. I said, just stay still. Stay on the 10th floor. You can't get under the table because the whole floor might cave in. There ain't nowhere to go. So are you ready to die? Are you rolling with the Most High? You rolling with Satan? Those who fear at that time, they rolling with Satan. They're not aware that they safe when they're under the eyes of the Most High. When they're under the shadow of the Most High and they're keeping His laws, they safe. There's nothing to panic about. Okay? But those who fear the Most High, those are the ones who panic. Those are the ones who are screaming. These people, they were screaming when that earthquake hit. I was sitting there counting. I said, when that earthquake was shaking, I said 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. It shook about 8 seconds. But when you talk to somebody that's fearful, they say that thing was shaking for 5-10 minutes. That's somebody who's afraid. It seemed like forever.
Wake-up call.
It's a wake-up call, but they go right back to sleep as soon as everything's okay. So let's go to let's go, where was that? Romans 3:3. Let's go Romans 3:31. It says, do we then make void the law through faith? God forbid. The Most High forbid. Yea, we establish the law. So that's what we do. We got to keep His laws. If we don't keep them, then destruction comes. Alright? So when we go out on the streets and we teach the laws, we're supposed to gird ourselves up like men. For those of us that speak, let's go to Proverbs 8:4. Proverbs 8:4. Because today a lot of our men are real soft, they're real weak, real sensitive. You talk to them and they get, we be out there on the streets talking to some men and they be ready to fight and we ain't say nothing to them. We just barely speak to them, but when we speak sometimes we speak so rough, it's not what they used to. They're used to someone talking very sensitive to them. So it rattles their spirit real quick when we talk harsh to them. This is Proverbs 8:4. It says, unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man. Okay? So the Most High is calling His men to come forth. It says, O ye simple, understand wisdom, and ye fools, be ye of understanding heart. So a lot of our men are not of understanding heart. They're not looking at what we're trying to do. We're trying to basically show them how to change, how to get right with the Most High. And the Most High is not going to be mocked. This is verse 8.
Has left the conference.
Verse 8. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing forward or perverse in them. Verse 10. Receive my instruction and not silver. Okay? You're getting paid when you're listening to the Most High. The Most High is He's enriching in you. Okay? It says, receive my instruction and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold, because this is going to be more precious than gold and silver. This is what's going to redeem you from the earth. Gold and silver cannot redeem you. Okay? You cannot redeem you. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 10. Hebrews chapter 10. Hebrews. Let's see. Trying to find this verse here.
Has arrived.
There's one where he said, we are going to be redeemed not with gold, not with silver. Thought it was Hebrews chapter 10. I can't think of the verse right now. Okay, so we'll go from there. Let's go to Job 38:4. Job chapter 38 verse 4. A lot of times our people, when we talk to them, our people get offended real quick. lot of our people in these days and times, they're not happy with their life, and they're not happy with being criticized, because their whole life they've been criticized. So when we come with the criticism about keeping the laws, a lot of times we don't know what they've been through, but when we out there on the streets and we're talking to them and we mention something, they get offended because nobody's never talked to them about that. Sometimes we hit it right on the nose what they're dealing with. You know, if they got a problem with something and we mention it, you know, it might be something they've been fighting all their life, and here we are mentioning it, and they're not understanding that it's not us doing it, it's the Most High calling them out. You know, that's the spirit right there. When the Most High speaks to them, we don't know. Even though we speaking, we don't know what we doing. We just bringing the words out, and the Most High is doing the cutting. You know, and that's one of the reasons why people get offended. But it's for a reason. That's why the Most High has this out there. Because when we cut them, people go home and they think about us. They don't forget your face. They don't forget nothing. Sometimes people even dream about you at night. You know, they hear us out there speaking, and they dream. I had a sister, she told me, she said, I had a dream about y'all. You know, it's because when we out there, it's such a change. It's something very rare, it's something very unique that people have not seen. So when they come out and they see brothers out there speaking, it's an impression that stays on their head forever. It's just like me in 1992 when I saw the brothers in New York. When I saw them out there speaking, I was mocking them in my spirit because I had never seen nothing like that. But then 10 years later, 12 years later, I come into the truth. And here I am doing the very same thing them brothers was doing, you know. So it's just the way the Most High works. And I didn't think about them brothers no more until I came back into the truth. And that's when I said, damn, I was mocking them, dude. I remember right away, my mind took me there. I put 2 and 2 back together, you know. So that's the way it is with people. You don't know when they're going to wake up. Everybody's in a sleeping time. It's like a time shell, you know. It may wake up today, it may wake up tomorrow, it might wake up 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now. But we can't predict it, but it happens. We seen a brother like that before. Barzal, you there? There's a brother, yeah, remember the brother in West Oakland when we were speaking? We was out there for 3 years speaking, and the brother heard us out there speaking. We was getting on the brother about selling stuff on the Sabbath day. 3 years later, the brother coming to the truth. He was a Muslim. We was telling him Islam ain't crap. And 3 years later, the brother comes into the truth. Man, that was a blessing. And then he started talking to us, calling us all the time, and he was saying, look, everybody I tell about this truth is fighting me. See, now he bit that, he ate that roll. He ate that roll. It was sweet going down, but once he started telling his family, it became bitter in his stomach. And that's when you look for counsel amongst your brethren. You know, that's why it pays to be in a body with other brothers and sisters, because it's a form of comfort. Okay, Job 38:4. Let's get 38:4. Job chapter 38, verse 4. Where wast thou when I laid the foundation of the earth? Declare if thou hast understanding. Let's see. Who hath laid the measures thereof, if thou knowest? Or who hath stretched the linen?
And left the contents.
The line upon it. Okay. Verse 3. Let me go up to 3. Gird up now thy loins like a man, for I will demand of thee, and answer thou me. So he's telling Job, look, you come before me, you're going to have to come boldly. A lot of our people, they come soft to the Most High, but the Most High wants you to come boldly to him. Okay? When Moses went to the Most High, did he go softly? No, he went boldly. Okay? We got to remember that even Hamashiach didn't want to he didn't even want to drink that cup in the last time, before his crucifixion. He cried and asked the Most High that he remove the cup. But he had to approach the Most High boldly, see? That's what we got to understand too as Israelites. Christian doctrine teach you not to do that. They teach you just the opposite. Yes, we go humbly. Yes, we go with a broken, contrite spirit, but we also approach boldly. You know how many things the Most High going to throw at us before we actually get to him? If we break down, we ain't going to never get there.
has arrived.
All right, so we gotta approach the Most High boldly. If we need something right now, you boldly ask the Most High. Boldly ask Him in your prayers. Okay. Let's go to Jeremiah 1:17. Jeremiah 1, verse 17. So it's a lot of things we got to understand. A lot of things we got to be reborn on, because we got that doctrine of the churches and Islam, or whatever religion we came out of. We got that doctrine still in our brain. The American way of thinking, the American way of believing. You know, we've been taught by Esau how to pray and, you know, how to ask for things, which is all backwards. Everything is backwards when it comes to our power. All right, so we have to learn all over again. All right, we have to be taught again. This is Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 17. Thou therefore gird up thy loins, and arise, and speak unto them all that I commanded thee. Be not dismayed at their faces, lest I confound thee before them. There it is again. He telling them, don't be afraid of these people. For behold, I have made thee this day a defense city. So he made us as a city. 1 man, 2 men, 3 men, 2 women, okay? And an iron pillar, and a brazen walls against the whole land, against the kings of Judah, against the princes thereof, against the priests thereof, and against the people of the land. So when we go out there, we're like a fort. We're unmovable. That's why we tell people, don't walk behind us. We tell them to go in front of us. We got a little fort set up. Okay? It says, and they shall fight against thee, but they shall not prevail against thee. For I am with thee, saith the power, to deliver thee. We ain't lost a fight yet since we've been out there speaking, because the Most High has always been with us. All praises by Shema Mashiach Yahushua. You know, we go out there to fight, to show our people the right way. The Most High is not going to let us fail. If we went out there thinking we was going to fail, we wouldn't make it. We'd get torn up, man. The Most High wouldn't be with us. Tell us to go back home. All right? Let's go to Hebrews 4 and 16. Hebrews 4 and 16. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 16. Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace. See that? Most High said, come boldly. When has the Christians ever told you to do that? Come boldly. We walk boldly to the Most High. Islam don't even teach that. Okay? Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need. Okay? That's how we're supposed to respond. What did King David, did he not approach Goliath with boldness? Did he not slay him? Did he not turn down the armor of the older Hebrew Israelites? He turned the armor down to fight Goliath. He said the Most High is with him. He was speaking boldly. All right, that's the way we got to be. Samson spoke boldly when he told the Most High to give him back his power. He didn't say a long prayer. He said, just give me my power so I can slay the Philistines. And the Most High gave it to him. You know? So when we go up against people, you know, we're a fenced city when we go up against them. And they can see that glow on your face when you're actually dealing with them. You know, other people, other nations, they know something is different with you. You ever notice when you're out dealing with the other nations, they always want to rub on your shoulder or they want to touch your hair? It's the other nations, they be trying to get that glow from you. They do that to us all the time. They want to touch our hair. They want to, you know, our women, they wear all these different hair designs. They so fascinated with our women's hair. They so fascinated with the way we dress. You know, that's how the heathens are. Always want to touch us. What are they doing? Trying to steal our glow. Okay. Isaiah 45 and 25. Let's go to Isaiah 45 and 25. Isaiah chapter 45 verse 25. In the Most High shall all the seed of Israel be justified and shall glory. We all going to have to be justified through Hamashiach Yahushua. It said all the seed of Israel. Why is that? Because during Judgment Day, we all going to have to stand before the Most High. And the second death, we're going to have to stand before the Most High. So we're all going to have to be justified by what? His laws. Those who don't keep his laws are going to be justified by death. Those who keep his laws are going to be justified by getting everlasting life. Okay? Romans chapter 10, verse 11. Let's go there. Romans chapter 10, verse 11. For the scripture saith, whosoever believeth on him shall not be ashamed. So you keep his laws. When he said whosoever shall believeth on him, that's two parts. Always remember that. It's not just believing in the name Hamashiach. It's believing in his word, believing in his laws, statutes, and commandments. That's what it is. When it says, for the scriptures saith, whosoever believeth on him, that means believing in his commandments. Keeping them, doing them. Then it says, shall not be ashamed. We're not going to be ashamed if we keep his commandments. You know? It's elementary, man. I don't understand why our forefathers didn't know this stuff, man. It's crazy. Now that we have this truth, the Most High blessed us to have this truth, everybody should know this truth. You know? It's so simple. But when you tell our people, it's almost like confusion. It's like they look at you with a disoriented look. You know? But in order for us to be a special people, we have to keep our own laws separated from the laws of this earth. Our laws are always got to be set. It's just like the Hebrew calendar is different from the American calendar. You got to have two calendars, right? So why is it not so hard to understand that you're gonna have two types of laws? You're gonna have our laws and you're gonna have the American laws, the laws of the land. You know, it's elementary. Verse 12. For there is no difference between the Jew and the Greek. When people read this, they say, oh, the Greeks could be saved. This is, for there is no difference between the Jew and the Greek. For the same Lord over all is rich unto all that call upon him. Okay? So why are they zoning out the Greeks? How can they say some other nation? Why are they zoning out the Greeks? This is a big topic. People always say, well, the Greeks could be saved. What about the other nations? What about the Hamites? How come they say, for there is no difference between the Jew and the Hamites? How come they say that?
Was it because they were in captivity at that time underneath the Greeks?
There it is. Bingo. That's it right there, brother. You nailed it on the head. Now I'm going to bring out a scripture to show you that. Verse 13. For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Hamashiach shall be saved. Okay? So let's find out what this was talking about. Okay, let's go to Ephesians 2 and 11. Ephesians chapter 2 and 11. Ephesians chapter 2 verse 11. Wherefore, remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh. You see that? It says, remember that you was in time past a Gentile in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hands. So how could they be called circumcised people who are in uncircumcision? This is talking about the mental capacity. You got to be circumcised in your brain. That's a form of reborn. When you see circumcised, that's being reborn in your brain. You still got to get circumcised. That's part of the law. As a man or a male, you still have to be circumcised. But this is talking about the spiritual side of it. It's talking about being circumcised in the mind. So the scriptures is telling you in this verse that in time past you knew that you was a Gentile. Why? Because they were placed into captivity during the days of the Maccabees under the Greeks. Okay? So they were called Gentiles. It says, Gentiles in the flesh who are called uncircumcision by that which is called circumcision in the flesh made by hands. What did the Greeks do? When you read the book of Maccabees, let's go there real quick. Let me show you. Let's go to First Maccabees. Those of you who have your apocryphas. First Maccabees chapter 1 talks about the circumcision. See if I can find it real quick. Okay, right here. This is 1 Maccabees chapter 1 verse 60. It says, at which time, according to the commandments, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised. So they was killing our women when they got their sons circumcised, you see, because they didn't want us to keep our old covenant, which was the covenant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that the Most High consented with. So it says, and they hanged the infants about their necks and rifled their houses and slew them that had circumcised them. See that? Howbeit many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing, wherefore they chose rather to die, that they may not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died. And there was very great wrath upon Israel. So there was some who actually didn't circumcise themselves. Okay, just so they wouldn't die. That's why it's talking about the circumcised and the uncircumcision in the book of Ephesians. You got to know the history of the Israelites. You got to go into the Apocrypha to see the Greek captivity. They was killing our men when they didn't circumcise, when they circumcised themselves. They was killing our baby boys when they were circumcised, and they was killing the women for allowing it to happen. Okay, so let's go back to Ephesians 2 verse, what was that? 2 verse 11. Wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh. They were Gentiles because they had to keep the ways of the Greek captivity, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hands. You had a question, brother? Okay, verse 12. That at that time ye were without Christ, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel, and strangers from the covenants of promise, having no hope and without the Most High in the world. This is talking about the Israelites who had to walk away from their customs, from the covenants of the Most High, that they became strangers in the world. So they had no life because they didn't keep the laws. This is verse 13. But now in Christ Hamashiach, ye who sometimes were afar off are made nigh by the blood of Hamashiach. So now, based on the form that the resurrection came and the crucifixion came, now they're one with Hamashiach as long as they keep the commandments and believe on him. You understand? So all of this plays a part. Our people got to understand that history goes along with the Bible, as well as the spiritualness goes along with it, as well as understanding and wisdom. All that stuff goes along with it, okay? We have to understand that. On top of that, knowing that we're Israelites, the Negroes, Latinos, and American Indians. We have to realize that this is our history. Okay? Let's go back to...
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
After that verse about that whoever call upon his name of Yah, our side shall be saved.
Right.
Now, are any Edomites that's going to be going to heaven?
First of all, the condition of heaven, you have to realize heaven is going to be on the earth. That's the heaven that the Most High is talking about. It's going to be brought down. His temple is going to be brought down on the earth. Okay, when his temple come on the earth, then the Israelites are going to go back to that land. Now, the Edomites are going to be destroyed. They're going to live for 1,000 years and then they're going to be destroyed at the end. But the Most High, when you read the scriptures, it tells you that they're going to be handmaids and servants in that land. When you read Isaiah 49 and 23, okay, all the people of the earth are going to be Israel's servants. And it's not going to be the way that we had them in captivity. Like, it's not going to be the way that they had us in captivity. It's going to be a righteous way. Okay? Abraham had servants. Abraham had servants that he trusted. Okay? Okay, when Lot went into Sodom, Lot had servants. He had 50 men that went with him into Sodom. That's who Abraham was praying for, his servants. Okay? So we have to understand what these other nations are going to be. They're going to be servants and handmaids in the new kingdom. Okay? That's what they're going to be according to the Bible.
They're going to be destroyed. They're going to be destroyed after that.
After 1,000 years, the Most High says that Esau is going to be destroyed. Okay? But that's another class. Okay, we'll bring that out in another class. So we'll finish with this class right now, and we'll move on. It's a good question, though. It's a good question. Right? But just keep in mind, Isaiah 49 and 23 is talking about all the nations of the earth are going to be servants to Israel, and it's going to be a righteous thing. Israel are going to be priests and kings in the nation. They're going to be the ones who hold the laws and teach all the nations. Okay, that's what Israel's job is going to be. The servants of the earth, who are the other nations, they're going to have to worship the Most High once a year. They're going to have to come up for the Feast of Tabernacles once a year to get instructions from the children of Israel on the land, how to take care of their families, and so forth. Okay. Let's go to where are we at? Let's go to Psalms chapter 110, verse 6.
I got another precept to
go ahead.
you get a chance.
Go ahead.
Ephesians 4 and 17.
Go ahead, bring it out.
You go to it. Somebody have to read it though.
Okay. What was it?
Ephesians 4 and 17.
Okay. Hold on, Aquats. My fingers are too big for these pages. Ephesians 4 and 17. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 17. This I say therefore and testify in the Hamashiach, that ye henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walked, in the vanity of their mind, having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of the Most High, through the ignorance that is in them because of the blindness of their heart. That's what you wanted?
Yeah, keep going all the way down to 20.
Okay. Who being past feeling, having given themselves over unto lasciviousness, to work all uncleanness with greediness, but ye have not so learned Hamashiach.
Has left the conference.
Go ahead.
Go to 20. 20.
Yeah, I read 20. But ye have not so learned Hamashiach.
Right. And that's what you were talking about earlier about our people was acting like the Gentiles.
Right.
That's what the 10 tribes was acting like.
Uh-huh.
They was being alienated from the Most High as far as the law, statutes, and commandments. They was acting like the Gentiles.
Yeah.
Like over here now.
Yeah, just like now, exactly. Our people,
Here now.
we acting like the Gentiles now. There's no difference. You know, just look at Ferguson. We acting worse than the Gentiles. Most High said he was going to make us base men, and that's what we are. We're the base of the earth right now. This is Psalms chapter 110, verse 6. He shall judge among the heathen. He shall fill the places with the dead bodies. He shall wound their heads over many countries. So the Most High is going to destroy a lot of countries. A lot of the heathens are going to be destroyed. When you look up the word heathen, he's talking about the other nations. Let me get that in the Bible dictionary. Let's look up the word heathen. Because, you know, in the church, it's funny because when you hear the word heathen, that's what our mamas and our daddies used to call us when we didn't go to church, right? You know, they be like, you heathen, you little heathen. You know, that's what they used to call us, our grandparents. You just a heathen. You don't want to learn God's word. That's how they used to talk. But let me read what it is. Here it is right here. Yeah, Gentile too. Heathen. Usually used for a non-Israelitish people. See that? So it's talking about a people other than Israelites. And thus has the meaning of Gentiles. It says the differentiation between Israelites and Gentiles was more sharply accentuated in the New Testament than in Old Testament times. The reason for this being chiefly that the Jews had suffered so much from Gentile hands. Gentiles were looked upon with aversion and hatred. This is evident in the New Testament. Okay? So, basically showing you right there.
Not too long ago, I thought I was a Gentile before I came to the truth.
Yeah, man. We not Gentiles. We just a base people.
Right, kicked down, and I thought I was a Gentile. That's messed up.
Yeah, man. That's
Right,
Esau.
I got a precept on that too.
Go ahead.
Go to Leviticus 25 and 42.
Leviticus chapter 25, verse 42. For they are my servants which I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. They shall not be sold as bondmen.
Okay, so we have to understand that we're not going to be slaves. So, when the brother was saying about when we get in the kingdom, Most High already have it set up for who or who's going to be his people. You know what I mean? Go ahead, go explain a little bit more.
Thou shalt not rule over him with rigor, but shalt fear the Most High. Both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen that are round about you. Of the heathen.
Meaning the other nations or the Gentiles.
Right. That are round about you. Of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids. Moreover, of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy, and of their families that are with you, which they begot in your land, and they shall be your possession.
This should be our what possession means they're going to be like our servants.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Go ahead, keep going. One more.
And ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for a possession. They shall be your bondmen forever. But over your brethren, the children of Israel, ye shall not rule one over another with rigor.
That's what's going to happen in the kingdom.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then the problem is that our mind is so set of how Esau treated us that, you think that we're going to act like that towards them when the kingdom comes. Because none of our forefathers didn't treated their servants like that. You know what I mean? We treat our servants as like if they was our brother, but they really wasn't our brother. We treated them with, fairness. You know what I mean? So, but at the same time, they're not on the same level as our brother, because the Most High tells you that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we have to understand that. You know what I mean? So, the Most High is very specific, very explains when he explains the difference between the children of Israel and the strangers.
Right.
They're totally different on a different level, or is that? You know what I mean? The Most High put Israel as a high standard. And like I said, the other nations are below the children of Israel. But at the same time, they're going to show Israel the respect.
Yeah, they're not going to try to. They're not going to try to run away from us like we was trying to run away from them. Because of the harsh treatment. We was trying to get out of here. Because they was beating us, they was taking our women, and they was killing our kids. So, our children. So, we're not going to be the same way with them. It says that we're going to allow their families to grow, but they're going to be our possession forever. You know what I mean?
That's why Israel is suffering so bad, because he said that he knew us, and we were peculiar people, and he gave us the law. He didn't give it to anybody else. He gave it to us. So that's why we're tamed, really, because we knew him. He loved us.
Right.
Nobody else is paying like this. No other nation is suffering like the way it is.
Right.
Right. They're
got one
suffering.
more precept
They're
to that.
suffering. They're suffering because of us. Just like you're saying, all nations on the earth, they think that they're living high and mighty, but they're really suffering because of us. We're the reason why the world is the way that it is today, because we're not ruling anymore. You know. That's why the oceans are polluted, the trees are cut down, the fire, the ecosystem's all thrown off, the bumblebees are dying. You know, that's why all that stuff is out of whack right now because of us.
We're not in our habitation where we belong.
Exactly.
We're out of place.
Everything's out of order. Just like the book of Daniel say. All right.
I got one more scripture out. You say Leviticus 26 and 40. This is what we must do. 26 and 40. Leviticus.
Hold on.
How does the Edomites get this information then?
Now, you know, we can go over that another time, brother. We can go over that another time. For sake of time, we try to finish this out for the other people. But you said Acts 26 and 40.
No, Leviticus 26 and 40.
Leviticus 26 and 40. If they shall confess the iniquity of their fathers with their trespass, which they trespass against me, and that also they have walked contrary unto me, and that I also have walked contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies, if then their uncircumcised hearts be humbled, and they then accept of the punishment of their iniquity, then will I remember my... Right.
You see, we haven't accepted the punishment of us going to slavery, because we don't even know why we went into slavery. That's why you see all the things that happen to our people, because our people they take it as like, oh, we just went into slavery. They don't understand that we sin against the Most High as a nation of people. They haven't confessed that yet. All they know is, oh, we just went into slavery. White man's over. That's all they know.
Right, and that goes back to...
They don't even know they broke the law.
Yeah, and that goes right back to the topic that we talked about. Like we named the topic, many will not believe until it's too late. And see, and that's the whole thing. The brother just brought it out, Leviticus. You know, many won't believe until...
That's why you see all those people in Ferguson, they doing what they doing. That like I said, our people have to turn back to the Most High. If all those people in Ferguson was in the truth, and they would pray to the Most High all at once, the Most High will hear their prayers. If they said, Most High, kill that cop that did such and such, the Most High would do it.
Right.
That's what our people don't understand. We got to pray to the Most High, but they crying to Esau to do justice. They don't realize that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They don't think that it's generation. They don't think that we connected to our forefather ancestors. They don't know that there's a connection between us now and them then.
What is...
They think that, watch that. They don't think that they should take to something that happened so long ago, so they don't know that it's a connection.
Right. They don't truly believe that they are... For one, they don't know that they're the people, and they don't truly believe that if they pray to the Most High in one spirit, one heart, that the Most High could do this, that he could solidify everything that they pray for. That's what they don't understand. They don't understand that they have a power. They've been taught so long not to believe in the invisible, you know, that now they're pretty much almost like the heathens, just like the Gentiles now, you know. They pray just out of comfort. They don't pray for a solution. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right.
I got about...
read 41 again, huh?
Leviticus 26 and 41.
Yes.
And that I also have walked contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies. If then their uncircumcised hearts be humbled, and they then accept... Right. And they then accept of the punishment of their iniquity, then will I remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham will I remember, and I will remember the land. Okay?
Right. And that's what our people, you know, even the brothers in mean? That's how you be reborn again. Now it's just sin. That's all the Most High going to hear you. Not only that, but once you stop doing whatever your sin might be. You know what I mean? So, I just wanted to bring that out after what you were talking about.
That's cool. Yeah, it's necessary.
Well,
What you said?
that's the sins of our forefathers.
Well, our forefathers, because it says, what it says? It says, and that I also have walked contrary with them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies, and if their circumcised heart be humble, that's a hard thing for our people to be humble to listen to the word, that they then accept of the punishment of their iniquity. So we have to accept that the Most High did this, had us in captivity, and our people get slaughtered. We have to accept that.
Right.
You know? Then the Most High says, then I will remember my covenant with Jacob, and also remember my covenant. Those are our forefathers. You know what I mean? Remember the covenant with them.
Yeah. People don't want to believe, though, because they got so much of a variety of religions to go to. They choose not to follow the Most High purposely. You know, they know what their ancestors followed because their grandmother went to church, their mama went to church, but they choose to go opposite of that, you know, because they don't believe. They just don't believe. That's all there is to it. Jake is upset. Jake is upset at God, man. Jake is upset at God. Jake don't really love the Most High, man. He really has anger for the Most High. Taking their mama, taking their daddy, not having nothing. Not ever having nothing, you know. Jake is really just upset.
And what it is that our people have a desire, but at the same time, when you read 2 Timothy 7:6, it tells you our people have a desire, but not according to the knowledge.
Right.
So our people they want to know the Most High, but they don't know how to channel it to the Most High. That's why the Most High has his men out there in the street doing the true prophets that's out there doing what they're supposed to be doing, and supposed to be teaching them the right way, the ones that's going to wake up and hear the word.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's just like the scriptures say in Romans. And Romans 10? He said they have a zeal for the Most High, but not according to knowledge. It's the same thing. Paul was saying the same thing. All right. I'm going to go to Acts chapter 2, verse 21. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Hamashiach shall be saved. That's like the brother was talking about Ferguson. Then he says, ye men of Israel, hear these words. Hamashiach of Nazareth, a man approved of the Most High among you, by miracles, wonders, and signs, which the Most High did by him in the midst of you, as ye yourselves also know. So the Most High is telling us where to go. He's telling us how we're going to get saved, but our people don't want to hear this. All right. For one, they've been taught all their life that this was a white man's Bible. So they fight with that, you know, in their spirit. I'm going to go to verse 25. For David speaketh concerning him, I foresaw the Hamashiach always before my face, for he is on my right hand, that I should not be moved. King David never even saw Hamashiach, and he was already believing Hamashiach coming back. You know, he was our king. This is a king that believed in Hamashiach. Okay, verse 26. Therefore did my heart rejoice, and my tongue was glad. Moreover also my flesh shall rest in hope. See that? Because thou wilt not leave my soul in hell, neither wilt thou suffer thine Holy One to see corruption. So King David believed in Hamashiach, and that was in the Old Testament. Okay? Let's go to Psalms 110 and 1. So that's why he says, search for the old paths. We got to see what our forefathers did. It's just like Isaiah and Ezekiel. The Most High was taking them through different realms. You know, when they was having visions, they was seeing all kinds of stuff, man. They saw Mashiach before he even came on in the flesh. You know, Ezra saw the beginning of the times and the end of times, just like Moses. You know, why did they do it? Because the Most High wanted us to have a record. He wanted us to be able to see, have some kind of belief in Him that was coming in the end. So he had to put it down in words in this book. And don't get it twisted, this Bible was originally and always will be for us. The only reason why it went to the so-called white man is just to be held until we got out of captivity. It's the only reason why it went to Esau. He was never supposed to have it in the first place. This is Psalms 110 and 1. The Most High said unto my Hamashiach, sit thou at my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool. See? So he's telling you right there, the Hamashiach was with the Most High even during the days of David. You know, is this the same power that's in the New Testament? Or did he change? Let's see. Let's see if he changed. You gotta understand how the Most High works. I mean, you know, this is so heavy, our people don't realize, and I have to, like I was telling you this morning, Barzal, everything we do got to change. Every day we got to figure out a new way to change our spirit to be in line with the Most High. Every day, you know. And when you think about the Most High, He sees everything we do. There's nothing in secret that we do, because everything that we do will be brought to light during the day of judgment. Everything. There's everything that we done in secret prior to coming into the truth. The Most High seen everything. His angels are there recording. Alright? That's what we don't understand. The Most High is seeing, and you know, I could say that and you could not really believe it fully, but the Most High He sees what we're doing right now. It's a mirror image world that we sitting here and they sitting there watching us. The very same time. You know? Malachi 3 and 6. Malachi 3 verse 6. For I am the Most High, I change not. Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed, meaning that Israel is not going to be consumed. We're not going to be destroyed to a compound, to the very last compound. Alright? The Most High is still going to deal with Israel in the end. That's how we're going into the kingdom. He telling 13 and 8. Let's see if he changed in the New Testament. That was in the Old. Let's see the New. Hebrews chapter 13 verse 8. Hamashiach Yahushai, the same yesterday and today and forever. So I mean, he didn't change either. He was here in the beginning with the Most High. He didn't change from that time to the middle of the time when he came on earth to now. He ain't changed. Basically, that's past, present, and future. He has not changed. So I don't understand what these people are talking about. He said he came not to destroy the law, but to establish it. You know? So these people don't know what they're talking about. Let's go to John chapter 16. John chapter 6 verse 36. We're almost done with this class. John chapter 6 verse 36. And brothers and sisters, learn these books in the Bible so you don't have to be looking all over the place. You know, commit it to memory, the layout of the Bible, like the New Testament, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts. Get that in your memory. Study it, you know, so you know where it is, or you can know it right off the hand where the books are. Alright? This is John chapter 6, verse 36. But I said unto you that ye also have seen me, and believe not. All that the Father giveth me shall come to me, and him that cometh to me I will in no wise cast out. Any of you that come to the Most High with a sincere heart and keep His laws, Hamashiach is not going to let you go. Okay? He's going to stay with you. For I came down from heaven not to do mine own will, but the will of Him that sent me. And this is the Father's will which have sent me. So the Most High woke you up, and then He gave you to His Son, Hamashiach. And Hamashiach watches over you with His angels. That's how it works. And when you pray, your prayer goes up through the angels, goes to Hamashiach. Hamashiach takes the prayer, puts spices, alright, frankincense, and then he basically gift wraps your prayer and presents it to the Most High. He fixes it up. If it's an abominable prayer, it ain't getting to the Most High. He gonna stop it dead in its tracks. That's in the book of Revelation. He talks about that. Okay? Verse 39. And this is the Father's will which hath sent me, that of all which He hath given me I should lose nothing, but should raise it up again at the last day. So he ain't going to lose none of his that are of him. And this is the will of him that sent me, that everyone which seeth the Son and believeth on him may have everlasting life. And I will raise him up in the last day. That's what we shoot for. So get this, everybody's going to be raised up in the last day. Some to everlasting shame and death, some to everlasting life. That's what we got to understand. The Most High going to raise everybody up that are Israel. John, let's go to Acts 17 and 11. Acts 17 and 11. Why is he going to raise just Israel up? For one, he made a covenant with us. For two, we're the lawgivers. So if we're the priest of the laws,
Has left the conference.
if we're the priest of the laws, we're the ones who are held responsible for all the other nations. We're the ones that are held responsible. They're not held responsible. We're held responsible. So we're going to be judged first. Acts 17, verse 11. These were more noble than those in Thessalonica, in that they received the word with all readiness of mind, and searched the scriptures daily whether those things were so. That's what we're supposed to do. This is for you women in the next verse. Therefore many of them believed, also of honorable women which were Greeks, and men not a few. So there were women who were Israelites that were calling themselves Greeks. They were considered honorable women in those times. They were following the scriptures. Okay? We got to keep that in mind too. Verse 13. But when the Jews of Thessalonica had knowledge that the word of the Most High was preached of Paul and Berea, they came thither also and stirred up the people. Alright, so there's always some fools going to come around and try to stir us up. Let's go to Acts 7:51. Always somebody going to try to cause a mess. Alright? Got to always keep our guards and our eyes on the Most High. Let's look at Simon. Let's look at Simon. Look how Stephen, and look how he dealt with the Israelites. This is Acts 7:51. Ye stiff-necked and uncircumcised in heart and ears, ye do always resist the Holy Spirit, as your fathers did. So do ye. Which of the prophets have not your fathers persecuted? And they have slain them which showed before of the coming of the just one, of whom ye have been now the betrayers and murderers, who received the law by the disposition of angels, and have not kept it. See? So all those Christians are not keeping the laws. They received it not by the disposition of angels, but by the disposition of men. Okay? They are not following the Most High's laws. Right? 1 Timothy 4, verse 1. Got 3 more verses and we're going to end it with that. 1 Timothy 4, verse 1. First Timothy 4, verse 1.
Has arrived.
Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. Alright, that's what we're dealing with today. Doctrines of devils. It says, speaking lies in hypocrisy, saying that Christ is a white man with long hair, blonde hair, blue eyes. That's a lie and a hypocrisy. Saying that the children of Israel over there in Israel today, that's a hypocrisy. Saying that the Negroes are black, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, that's a hypocrisy. Calling out the children of Israel as a proverb name, giving them a different disposition of who they are. Okay? It says, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron, meaning they ain't going to let you change. They're going to continue to call you these names. It says, forbidden to marry and commanding to abstain from meats which the Most High created to be received, with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth. So forbidden to marry, there's some brothers that teach that don't get married because we're at the end. That's going against the Most High. We're at the end. The earth is about to come to an end. You don't have time to get married. That's a lie. That's a hypocrisy. We don't know when the earth is going to end. We just know it's soon. Don't mean that you can't get married and have children. Okay? It says, abstaining from meats. Well, we already know what meats we're supposed to eat. It's in the law. You go to Leviticus chapter 11. It tells you what to eat and what not to eat. Okay? But it's to those vegetarians that say don't eat no meat. Those are the ones abstaining from meats. Okay? The Most High said that it's good to eat lamb. All right? Certain fish with scales, you know. Those are good things. You get protein from that. You get different minerals from that. All right? Let's go to Revelation 21:8. Revelation 21 verse 8. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. But those who are going to die in the second death that are of Israel. All these people, it's going to be more of them than those who actually make it. Okay? 2/3 of them are going to die. 2/3 of our people. Okay? Let's go to Revelation 3 and 5. And best believe, you better hope that it ain't your family members. That's why you got to try to wake them up. Because what does it look like you being on the one side of paradise and your family members on the other? You don't think you're going to grieve that? Seeing your family members? Like in Luke chapter 16, the rich man and the poor man. The rich man was able to see the poor man over there in paradise. Okay? Let's go to Revelation. You don't want that being your family member. That's why you got to try to wake them up. Revelation 3 and 5. He that overcometh, the same shall be clothed in white raiment. And I will not blot out his name out of the book of life, but I will confess his name before the Father, before my Father, and before his angels. So the Most High Son is going to confess us before him. Alright? That's why we got to do what's right. We got to do what's right now, man. We got to change our lives. Wisdom of Solomon. Let's go to the Apocrypha. 4 and 20. Wisdom of Solomon, 4 and 20. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 20. And when they cast up the accounts of their sins, they shall come with fear. These are the people after the second death. When we die and get resurrected, these are the people who are going to come with their sins. All the accounts, everything you done did, been tallied up. He said, the accounts of their sins, they shall come with fear. Because you're going to be able to see what you did. You're going to know what sin you did. Alright? And you have to stand before the Most High. It says, and their own iniquities shall convince them to their face. So everything you did that you didn't repent of is going to convict you. Alright? So let's get that understanding. While we on this earth, we got to keep his laws. Beware of unbelief and unbelievers. Alright? You stay strong in this word. Talk with brothers and sisters. If you have a problem, talk with a brother and sister to get to understand it so you can go back and tackle it. We need each other in order to get through these days. We cannot do it by ourselves. Alright? With that, we're going to say a prayer, and we're going to end it with this. Amayo Wapanya Hakwadam, all stand and face the east.
This is the word of the Lord of hosts. I took you from the pastures and from following the sheep to be prince over my people Israel. I have been with you wherever you have gone and have destroyed all the enemies in your path. I will make you a great name among the great ones of the earth. I will assign a place for my people in Israel. There I will plant them, and they shall dwell in their own land.